What if the age on your retirement plan is actually working against you? Most Singaporeans pick a number: 55, 60, 65, sometimes 70 if they're still enjoying the work, and they treat that number like it's the finish line. Hit the age, stop working, live off whatever's been building in the background. Simple, right? Except here's the strange part. Two people can retire at the exact same age, with the exact same CPF balance, and end up living completely different lives. One is comfortable. One is quietly stressed every single month. Same age, wildly different outcomes. So maybe the age was never really the answer. Let's start with the one everyone talks about first: 55. This is the age most people associate with unlocking their CPF. You can start withdrawing from your ordinary and special account, assuming you've set aside your retirement sum. For a lot of Singaporeans, 55 feels like freedom. It's the number stamped into the culture. Your parents talked about it. Your colleagues joke about it over lunch. But here's what most people don't realize. 55 isn't actually a retirement age. It's an access age. There's a difference. Just because you can touch the money doesn't mean your CPF is designed to support you fully from that point onward. Withdraw too early, too aggressively, and the machine that's supposed to compound quietly for another decade starts working with a smaller engine. Now, think about 60. This is where most private sector employment contracts legally allow companies to let staff go before reemployment kicks in. 60 feels more real to a lot of people. Kids might be more independent, the mortgage might be smaller, but 60 is also where something sneaky happens. Expenses don't always drop the way people expect. Healthcare costs start creeping up, and if CPF life payouts haven't started yet, there's often a gap, a quiet, unplanned gap between "I stopped working" and "the income started flowing." Then there's 65. This is the age most closely tied to CPF life payouts actually beginning for many Singaporeans. It's treated almost like the official retirement age in people's minds, and there's a reason it holds up better than 55 or 60 in a lot of cases. Every year you delay starting your CPF life payouts up to a certain point, your monthly payout increases, not by a small margin either. It compounds meaningfully. So here's the twist nobody really explains clearly. The winning age isn't about when you stop working. It's about when your money starts working at full strength. And that brings us to 70, the age some Singaporeans push toward either because they enjoy their work or because they've realized something important. The later you activate certain payouts, within reason, the stronger those monthly payments become. 70 sounds intimidating to most people. Nobody wants to imagine still working at 70. But delaying isn't the same as working forever. Some people delay withdrawals while not working at all, simply living off other savings first, letting CPF life grow quietly in the background like a plant nobody's watering, yet somehow still growing taller. Now, here's where most explanations completely miss the real question. It was never really which age is best. It's best for what? Best for cash flow today or best for income stability 20 years from now? Best for someone with strong outside savings or someone relying mostly on CPF? Best for someone in good health with family longevity or someone who values certainty sooner rather than later? Because retiring earlier isn't wrong, and retiring later isn't automatically smarter either. What actually determines the winner is something almost nobody puts on a whiteboard: your personal runway. Picture your retirement like a plane preparing for takeoff. Some people are on a short runway, limited savings, limited other income, higher urgency. For them, waiting until 70 to optimize payouts might sound smart on paper, but if there's nothing to live on in the meantime, the plane never gets in the air. Timing means nothing if you can't sustain the wait. Other people have a long runway, investments outside CPF, a paid-off HGB flat, maybe rental income, or a spouse still working. For them, delaying withdrawals isn't risky at all.
It's actually the smarter move because they can afford to let the CPF engine run longer and take off with more altitude later. This is the part financial content rarely says clearly enough. The winning age is a mirror. It reflects your financial runway back at you. It was never a universal number waiting to be discovered. Let's make this concrete with numbers because numbers make it real. Imagine someone with a retirement sum in their CPF that would generate a monthly payout of around $1,000 if they start withdrawing at 65. If the same person delays until 70, that same balance could realistically produce payouts noticeably higher, sometimes 20 to 30% more depending on their exact CPF life plan. Multiply that increase across 2 decades of retirement, and it stops being a small difference. It becomes tens of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income simply from patience. But patience only works if you can afford to be patient. And that's the real decision Singaporeans are making, whether they realize it or not. It's not simply, when do I retire? It's how do I build a runway long enough that delaying becomes a choice, not a risk. This is where most people get retirement backwards. They wait until their 50s to start thinking seriously about which age to retire at. But the age you eventually win at is decided far earlier, often in your 30s and 40s, through habits most people underestimate. Consistent CPF top-ups, steady investing outside CPF, even in small monthly amounts, avoiding lifestyle inflation that quietly eats away at savings potential. These aren't exciting decisions. Nobody makes a highlight reel out of monthly ETF contributions. But these boring decisions are exactly what turns 70 into an opportunity instead of a burden, and 55 into genuine freedom instead of financial pressure. So which age actually wins? 55, 60, 65, or 70? Here's the honest answer. The age wins for the person who prepared their runway to support it. 55 wins if you built enough outside income to not depend fully on CPF this early. 65 wins for most Singaporeans as a balanced middle ground, strong payouts without unnecessary waiting. And 70 wins specifically for those with the patience and outside resources to let compounding finish its work. There isn't one winning age for every Singaporean. There's a winning age for the version of you that shows up, prepared, decades before that number ever appears on a form. The real question was never when should I retire, it's what am I building right now that decides which age eventually sets me free.